Hi, everybody. Just checking that we are going live in all the places. Amazing. So welcome to today's Reshape Method review. And I am so excited to have with me today, live from the UK, Reshape Method founding member. She joined the program in November 2021, Beth Flitton. Beth is a project manager and she is co-owner of the Listening House, which provides mental health and well-being services. So Beth, thank you so much. You were on with us.
Hi.
Talking about your Reshape Method experience, November last year. So I'm thrilled to have you on again. How are you? And tell us, how is your reshaping going a year later? In fact, maybe we can start by letting us know why you even decided to join the Reshape Method in November 2021.
Sure. Yes, I will. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me on, Tracy. So I joined the Reshape Method program because I was going through, and still am going through, menopause. And I was feeling that my body required some attention. I'd done lots of work on the spiritual and the self-development area, and I really felt that my body needed some attention. And in fact, it was crying out for some attention. So I discovered Tracy. I can't even remember how now, Tracy, but it's been a while.
I think it was through the Perimenopause Hub.
Yes, I think you're right. It was through the Perimenopause Hub. And I booked a call in with Tracy because what she was describing seemed to me to be exactly what I was looking for. She talked about taking charge of our change, about our bodies at perimenopause and what we can do to take care of ourselves. So I booked in a call with her, had a chat, instantly connected, loved it, loved everything it was about, and signed up. And I had, as you know, if any of you are going through perimenopause, you might identify with some of the symptoms. I was feeling tired. I had aches and pains, specifically in my hip and my knee, some of which were related to an old injury, but I wasn't sure if there was any other reason than that. Lower back pain, shoulder aches, all the kind of general, like I was just not feeling on top of my game. And so that was why I decided to do something about it.
Amazing. And what hesitations did you have about joining the program?
Because I was lacking in energy and because I had very specific problem with my knee because of the surgery I'd had before, I couldn't kneel on it. That's a past tense, couldn't kneel on it, by the way. Probably more on that in a few minutes. But I'd gone to I tried other disciplines such as yoga, Pilates, and I'd been very much put off by how much floor work was involved and how it made me feel not to be able to do it. And I explained all this to Tracy right at the very start, and she just guided me through it all the way and never once made me feel like I was a failure for not being able to kneel on my knee.
Right, because we can modify everything in the Reshape Method, right?
Yeah, and it was brilliant because you gave me modifications, and then all the work that we did means I can now kneel on my knee.
Right. I remember when you said to me around about week 10 or week 11 that, oh my goodness, suddenly you found yourself on your hands and knees being able to do those exercises and they weren't painful. So what did that feel like?
I couldn't believe it. I mean, that was an incredible feeling. I'd spent years, to be honest, since I'd had my accident, which was, I don't know, I can't remember, 10 years ago, not being able to kneel on my knee, even after surgery. And now I can. And I feel like a new lease of life. Not that I go around kneeling on my knee a lot, to be honest with you, but I can if I want to. And that's the difference. It's nice to be able to have the choice and being able to do the exercises without having to do modifications makes me feel like I'm doing this really well and I'm making a success of it.
Yeah, fantastic. So do you felt that like the program empowered you? What kind of emotional changes did you get out of it?
So you're right, absolutely, it empowered me. And doing the exercises, they're done in such a way that it's incremental. So we can go through a set and then the next week do another set. And because of what we've already, the changes to our body, we're able to do more and more and more. So as I went through the program, I really started to feel like, yeah, do you know what? I'm an active person and I can move and I can do this with my body. And I feel really strong. And I honestly have never felt so strong in my whole entire life. And that includes even when I was in my 20s and 30s.
That is amazing. And do you mind telling people how old you are?
I am 53.
53, because we think at 50 plus, how could we ever be stronger in our 50s than we were when we were younger, right? In our 20s or 30s. And it is absolutely true. You can be. And maybe let's just clarify for the people watching. We're saying you're resolving your aches and pains. You're getting stronger than you've ever been. But maybe just explain to people what those workouts feel like, because I'm saying no sweat, no strain, no time suck. Was that true?
That's absolutely true. There was no sweating involved at all. That's not to say that the workouts are not challenging, because they absolutely are, but they are the wonderful balance. Tracy's got it absolutely spot on, of being not too hard that you're just sweating and, you know, you feel like I can never do this again because it's so awful. But it's challenging enough to make you feel like you're making a difference. And you are making a difference, absolutely. And time-wise, you know, each workout is half an hour. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure if Tracy's going to like what I'm about to say, but sometimes I split them into two and do 15 minutes there and 15 minutes there.
I love that. I love that, because we need a movement routine, a movement program that is going to fit into our life and ebb and flow with our day, with the seasons, with how we're feeling, right? And I love that you said you split it, because things are going to fit in with how our real life works, because that change and maintaining it is all about consistency, right? And it's a year later and you're still doing the Reshape method. So tell us a bit about that. Like, how do you maintain the consistency, and how do you feel the program has been set up in such a way that a year later, and let me know if I'm putting words in your mouth, it's still fun and enjoyable and doable and something that you want to do?
Right. So the way I fit it into my day-to-day is I've started bullet journaling this year. And so I have a month and then I write down which ones I work through the program. And when I finish, I go back and work through it again. Because as I said, when I do it again, things have changed. My body's moved on. So I'm getting a different benefit from it.
Yeah. Sorry, if I can just interrupt you. I think that's an important thing for people watching to note, right? That you get lifetime access to the program, and it's like, it's a 3-month program, but I give you lifetime access because you're going to go through it again and again and again and again for the rest of your life. So maybe tell people a little bit about that, what that process is and why it's something you keep coming back to, and how that feels every round you go through.
Yeah, sure. So there are 3 phases in the way that Tracy's developed the workouts, and you do 5 workouts in phase 1, 5 in phase 2, and 3 in phase 3. And I like to do 3 of each in each phase before I move on to the next. And then when I go back, once I pick up from phase 1, as I've said before, something different happens to my body's moved on, so I'm getting some different benefits. So I do personally 3 workouts a week of the Reshape method now, and I also do other things, like I like to go to Zumba, and like I like to go walking. And so I make sure that every day, this is how I do it, 30 minutes of movement per day, whether it's Reshape, walking, Zumba, whatever. And the Reshape method, because it's all there and I know exactly what I'm getting, and I know that I can do those 3 workouts a week, and I can schedule them in to my day-to-day. For me, I have to schedule it in. If I don't schedule it in, it doesn't get done. A, because I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. And B, because I forget, because as I mentioned, I'm menopausal. So for me, I have to write everything down.
Right, right. And maybe tell people a little bit about how your body has changed every time you have gone back to the workouts, every time you've gone through it. Is it like it's almost a new experience when you take that second round, that third round, that fourth round?
Yeah, it's a completely different experience. I was doing one particular exercise the other day and I thought, oh, I am going, whereas I tried to lift my leg high before, my aim was to get it as high as I could. This time I was like, right, I got it high, but now I'm going to straighten it as much as I can. And as soon as I started to straighten it, I could feel something different. And I could feel then, because there was a little bit of resistance from my leg, it's like, okay, this requires some work on it then. So this told my body, told me, this is what we need to do now. And that's the thing. So once we start on the Reshape, we can start to really tune into our bodies and listen and understand what the body needs. I sit at my desk. I lead quite a sedentary life. I have an office-based job when I'm doing my project management. And it's very easy to get stuck in the same position. And doing the Reshape method means that I am allowing my body to move in ways that it wouldn't normally move. And my body goes, cool, thanks, I needed that.
Mm-hmm. So what do you feel was the biggest gift that the Reshape method gave you?
Strength, definitely. And the freedom to be able to move my body in ways that I didn't even know it could or I wanted it to.
Oh, I love that. That is just so amazing. And how do you feel now in terms of, in terms of your kind of like your aging trajectory? What were you concerned about in terms of aging, if anything, before you joined the program, and how is that different now?
Before I joined the program, I thought, okay, it's all downhill from now in terms of my physicality. Nothing's going to get better. It's only going to get worse, and it's going to be pain, and it's going to be low energy. And now I don't feel like that at all. Now I feel like, do you know what? I could keep going for a very long time. I'm strong because I'm stronger than I've ever been. My whole body thanks me, and it has such an impact on my mental health, on my physical health. So I don't get ill as much. I can move more. I've definitely got more energy. Energy begets energy. So the more I make my body move, the more it wants to.
Wonderful. And what would you say to people who are considering joining the Reshape method, but they're on the fence, they're not really sure how this is different to anything else they've done before, or if it's worth the investment? Or, a lot of us, this is not our first rodeo, and we failed at other things before. And the thought of starting again, getting excited about something new and failing at those are a lot of the reasons why people tell me, that they're hesitant to start a new program. So what would you say to those kind of things?
I would say that for me, it was definitely worth the investment, and I would highly recommend it. The big difference between this and anything I've done before is the fact that the workouts are, as I've said, that balance between challenging but not too onerous. But honestly, the main thing was the support that you get from Tracy and the community. Because Tracy, sorry, I'm talking about you, Tracy, as if you're not here, but because I'm addressing everybody else. But Tracy gives the most incredible support. All the fears I had, never once did she say, you're ridiculous. She always completely understood everything I was going through. Did personal modifications to some of the stuff that I couldn't do, which I now can do, by the way, and was so supportive and encouraging, and just that for me has been the biggest difference. It's you, Tracy.
Well, thank you so much for coming to join us in the Reshape Method. It's so wonderful having you in the community a year on, and I hope that in a year's time you will come back and speak to us again about your ongoing Reshape Method journey and continued changes. And if anyone, is the example, the poster child of transformation and audacious aging, really, it is you. I love it. And I love following you on Facebook and just seeing all the amazing things that you're doing in your life, and that energy and strength you have just shining through. So thank you so much for coming to join us. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the walking challenge.
Thank you.